to our first Facebook Live Sunday for our 90-day group, our 90-day focus group called I Am. As usual, I want you guys to know that I asked Dine last night if she would do this, and her beautiful heart, her beautiful heart said, yes, I would do this. I want you guys to know that Dine and I are just really getting to know each other. But what I know of, and she's going to tell us her story, share her story with us. And what I know of Dine is that when she walks into the room with that warm smile, the whole room lights up. You are kind and you are humble and you are loved. And we feel so lucky that you're here in Colorado and that you would take your time to pour into us tonight. Thanks, Dine.
Okay, you're gonna make me cry, and I haven't even started yet. I am a crier, and so I am humbled. Um, First of all, surprised, Wendy, that you would call me because I am just an ordinary gal. But
We all are.
if anything, and after today, if that could give you hope, and if an ordinary gal like me can do this business, then you certainly can. So thank you, Wendy, and I just the day that I met you, I felt an instant connection. I think because our passion and our hearts are just in the same place. We have a love for others, and I actually call my team Serve Others because that is definitely where my heart is. And so thank you so much for allowing me to be on this call. So I don't have that much to share, but I will share my heart. So I'll share a little bit about my journey and then just some of the things that I think that helped to get me to at least where I am now. So once again, my name is Diane Nisley. I'm a regional vice president with Arbonne International, and I don't think I'm still used to the title, and that's okay because our business really isn't about the title. So I was first introduced to Arbonne through the nutrition line. Some cute little lady would walk in my class every single week. I taught fitness classes, and it was a Pilates class. And Tracy Dyer, executive national vice president now, would walk in my class and she would say, hey, I really want you to try this clean eating challenge thing. And I'm like, oh, it's okay. I'm already doing something. I've been in fitness for a long time. And, a little full of myself. At the time, I was actually doing the paleo program, and I actually wasn't liking it. More for the fact because I did it for not only to lose a little bit of weight, but I had this tremendous sugar craving that I had to fill every single day, and I was addicted to coffee. And so those were kind of my two main reasons. And then I thought, why not, trim up a little bit? And it was kind of newer back then. It was about 6 years ago. So I kind of went on my way, would teach the class, and then Tracy Dyer to walk again the next week, and she's like, yeah, you really should try this. Today I ate, and she'd tell me her food. I'm like, I can't even think about what I'm going to eat anymore because all I'm doing is in the kitchen trying to prepare breakfast, lunch, dinner, what snack. And after a week, I was eating probably 5 bananas a day, no joke, because we couldn't have sugar, but I'm like, a banana's a fruit, right? And so I still had that sugar craving. I was craving coffee still after a week, and I was kind of miserable. It was a lot of work. It didn't seem worth it, but I knew that, okay, I'm going to do this for 30 days type of thing, so I wanted to finish. But it was kind of like comparing myself to Tracy Dyer. So then like week 3, she's like, I'm selling my size small yoga pants because they're not fitting me anymore. And I think I've lost 1 pound. And so I'm like, starting to hate her at that point. Like, who's this girl? And, she's saying, oh, I feel like I'm 20 again. And she's only a couple years older than me. And I'm like, whatever. But so long story short, I was miserable on paleo. I thought it was a lot of work. I lost 1 or 2 pounds. I was still craving sugar, and I wanted to drink probably 10 cups of coffee a day for energy. So then finally she said, you really should try this. We could actually have complex carbs. I'm like, what? I've been dying to have carbs. So then she goes, just do it. You don't need to really lose weight. Just do it to see how you feel. I'm like, okay, I could do this. So she's, I'll just promise you if you do it that you're going to do it 100%. And I'm like, no, I'm going to do it for you, Tracy. So maybe you'll stop asking me. No, she was very pleasantly persistent, and I'm so thankful for that. So long story short of that, after about 3 days of the Arbonne Clean Eating Challenge, I think day 4, I just thought it was the best thing ever. Not only was I sleeping better, I wasn't craving sugar. I had energy without drinking coffee because the fizz sticks were just the bomb. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, where has this been? So, of course, what happens when you find something fabulous? You tell your friends and family because that's what you do, just like you do, right, with a good movie or like cute shoes or whatever. And so I thought I'd upgrade to consultant because she said, well, I know you don't want to do this business or anything. Don't tell Tracy that I said that, but she did. But just upgrade because in case people ask you because you work at the gym. I'm like, okay. So I did. And then at the end of the month, I get this paycheck and I didn't do a thing. I literally didn't do a thing. People like my husband, my daughter, and like 3 or 4 other people asked me about it. And so I said, call my friend Tracy, but she was signing them up underneath me. And so I literally had a business without even trying. Okay. It wasn't a huge business, but you get $100 or whatever check it was that first month. And you're like, oh, this is kind of cool. But I was really in no place to add anything to my plate at that time. I was working 3 jobs really. I was teaching classes, I was personally training clients, and I was working on managing corporate wellness centers. So I was pretty busy. And then I kind of loved teaching classes. So I really wasn't looking for anything. And at the time, my husband was really opposed to network marketing. So he said, just keep buying the products, but no business ventures for you. I'm like, oh, that's good. I don't feel like I could even run a business. So we kind of went on with that. But at that time, just to let you know, I do have 4 children and our expenses were growing. Not only colleges, but weddings to pay for. And with my 3 jobs, we're making it to the end of the month, but just barely. And the question, if you continue doing what you're doing for 5 years, where do you see yourself? I really didn't see myself any other place than right where I was, which is barely making it to the end of the month. And I have 3 daughters out of the 4 kids. That's like 2 more weddings so still I was really reluctant because I'm kind of stubborn, and I think I really just kind of doubted in myself. I didn't think that there's no way that I could ever run a business, and I don't even know anything about Arbonne really, other than I love their protein powder and their whole program. I didn't see any possibilities or benefits of me really running a business. And like I said, I was really content teaching fitness classes, and I loved that arena, being in fitness. But then something kind of happened. Tracy, she was continuing on in the company, and she was starting to get promoted and do really big things. Her and a couple other Arbonne VPs, they were sponsoring, not only children in Africa, but they were building homes, orphanages. They were providing food for the homeless, and I get emotional, but they were doing life-changing things. And I thought, here I am barely getting to the end of the month, and I can't even do like anything extra. And they're taking this business, Arbonne, and doing life-changing things. So in that time, it made me think back to when I was a little kid. And so I'm one of 7 kids. My mom took 7 of us kids from St. Louis, Missouri to California to raise by herself. So odds against her, we had to live in poverty, but she felt it was up to her to provide opportunities for us to be successful. And no matter what, she was going to get it done. So, of course, you're a little kid. I didn't know anything different. I just thought, oh, we're living in a different state. She loved us sacrificially, obviously. But the unique thing is that even though we were poor, she worked and did more to help those that were in more need than us. Okay, those that needed help. We were, I guess, fine living off of government assistance, but she wanted to do more to help even others. And so I kind of connected that with Arbonne. My mom was doing more so she could give more. And then I thought I could do that too. And here's Arbonne in my lap. And now I could do the same thing. I could use this as a vehicle to do more so I could give more. So I know when my kids were younger, and there's always charities, there's opportunities to give. And because we're just making it to the end of the month, we didn't have any extra. We really didn't. But my heart went out to, especially those single moms that had to raise their children on their own. But anyone out there, there's always, even the neighborhood kids that were selling, entertainment books and things, to raise funds for their school. I don't know, I just feel like we got help when I was little that I just wanted to turn around and help others too, but we barely had any to help. So that's when I finally put together, okay, this is what I could do with Arbonne. I don't want to just get by. I want to do more, to give more. I want to make extra because other people are counting on our extra. And we have this opportunity that no other people, other places may not have. So why am I just going to sit back and do nothing and just make it to the end of my month when I could do so much more? And I feel like because God put that in my heart, he wouldn't put it in my heart unless he gave me an ability to accomplish those things. And I really believe that my mom worked way too hard for me to be anything less. I'm sorry that I get so emotional. My mom passed away when I was 23. And she left me this legacy all these years later. And so I want to turn around and leave that legacy and even more for my children. So that's kind of how I went from Arbonne as a maybe date money, maybe hobby money, to now something much bigger than myself. And I think that's really the thing that's kind of kept me in the game. I have been in Arbonne now for 6 years. Wait, is it 6 years? Yeah, a little over 6 years. And at the beginning, I just started because it was kind of fun, because I liked feeling better and all that. But when I finally just looked around and saw everybody else, this whole world, not just my family, not just my friends in my neighborhood, but the world, and the world that has a lot of need, and then what we're equipped with, and it truly is a gift to have Arbonne. I now could turn around and just touch the lives of others. And so that is just something that keeps me making my calls, booking appointments, sharing Arbonne. It's really easy to fall in love with the products, but the best thing we have to offer is the opportunity. And so who am I to keep that to myself? So that's kind of my why, a little bit longer than normal, but once I kind of put that down into words, I knew I was a lifer, you know. Um, I don't see myself doing anything else, because I don't see anything else allowing me to accomplish my goals of making these life-changing decisions for other people, being able to share that with other people. Okay, so going on to just maybe a couple things, going from, it was not difficult to go to district. You could pretty much do district on your own. I actually didn't have to do it on my own, but you can. Getting to area, you need to start building that team, and then definitely to go from area to region. There's no way that you could do that on your own. So my longest part of my journey is probably going from area to region. And in that time, I was probably in region qual several times, but we weren't quite ready as a team, because, and I love this about Arbonne, they want you to be able to not only promote to area, but they want your area to be sustainable. So they created, what are requirements that are needed to accomplish that and to sustain. So even though I've been in qualification several times, we just didn't quite make it. And yes, I was disappointed. I was, filled with regret, but because of my why, I had to get right back up and keep working. And I'm so thankful that I was able to even help my team do that as well. So just a couple points to cover. And all the things that I learned, and same thing probably with you, are things that we've heard from these other wonderful ENVPs that have been in Arbonne and have poured into us. And so we have the privilege of taking that information, like filling our cup and then turning around and then pouring into others. So hopefully I could share something, if maybe you've heard before, but maybe something that, I don't know, just turns on those light bulbs again to get you doing it yourself. So one of the trainers one time talked about being a problem solver. And I think as Arbonne consultants, that's what we get to be. If you just go through life, you go to the market, you go to drop your kids off at school, you go to work, any of those things, listen to what's going on around you, make connections with people and have conversations. Because when you do, you're going to hear something that someone shares with you that you have an opportunity to help solve that problem. So for example, the easy one, right? Like if someone says, oh, I hate my job. Well, ding, ding, ding. So you say, hey, you know what? I have something that might help you. And I think that's probably like a tagline that I use all the time for a lot of things. I have something I think that could help you. So, however you want to say it, it's basically that we're offering them something that could help them. And I love to help people, and I'm sure you do as well, because that is something that Arbonne does. We help others. So, if someone says, oh gosh, my back hurts. I guess, I was working in the garden. Every once in a while it kind of flares up, but I have lower back problems anyway. And so that's another red flag for me. Like, you know what? Well, before Arbonne, I used to say, have you tried Pilates? Because I would teach Pilates, and I know Pilates has helped a lot of people. So now I might say something like, you know what? I think I have something that might help you. Hey, I did this clean eating challenge a couple years ago, and I used to have inflammation. I had plantar fasciitis, which is inflammation. So a lot of times pain in your lower back is caused by inflammation. Well, through our clean eating challenge, you learn about foods that are inflammatory, and we remove them, and you start to feel so good, and that you don't even have to take Advil anymore. In fact, your body feels great, that you're even less prone to being sick, and blah blah blah, whatever. So I offer them a solution. Okay, so if someone says, if I see them and they're walking around with their Monster drink, right? And it's like 2 in the afternoon, and they're like, oh, I'm so tired, as they're drinking their Monster drink. And I'm like, oh, how are you? What's going on? You look kind of tired today. And so they'll be like, yeah, whatever reason why. As they drink their Monster drink, I'll be like, I have something that I think can help you. I drink these fizz drinks, and they're so much better than a Monster. Not only are you getting vitamin B6 and B12, but you're getting CoQ10, which is new in our fizz sticks right now. And you're going to get natural calm energy. So even though your Monster might give you that energy right now, you're going to actually crash because of the high sugar levels. What about sustained energy through the whole day without getting that crash? If I gave you a sample, would you try it and let me know what you thought? You could say it that way. So that if I would you is another common thing that I will say too. So like if someone said, yeah, I wouldn't mind, getting a little bit better sleep, or, reducing that inflammation. So I'd say, oh, well, if I invited you to a Facebook Live where we do our clean eating challenge, would you just watch and let me know what you think? So I always give them an option. So I find what the problem is, and then I give them a possible solution, and then I give them something that they're going to do. Try this sample, like a fizz stick, watch my Facebook Live, here's a little video, let's meet up for coffee, one of those things. So you're going to give them opportunities to say yes to you, and you're going to get a lot of no's, but you're giving them opportunities to say yes to you, and give them more than one, okay? Another thing sometimes I'll say is if they say like, yes, I'm so addicted to sugar right now, I just want sugar. And I'll be like, oh, I could totally relate. So sometimes if you find that you want to connect with them, let them know like, yeah, I remember that. I totally was addicted to sugar too. I had to have sugar with every single meal. But once I went through this clean eating challenge, I actually crave savory things more than I do sweets. It's really weird. I never thought that happen. So that whole thing and what I love too is I love connecting with people. And even if they never purchased something from me with Arbonne, they're still my friend. I made that connection. I feel like if it's not right for them right now, it might be right for them later. Because I don't know if it's happened to you if you've been in Arbonne for quite some time, but like 5 or 4 years later, sometimes someone might message me on Facebook saying, hey, I'm ready to do that thing. I'm like, what thing? And they're like, the cleaning. I'm like, oh, like I forgot I had even told them about it. I'm like, all right, let's get you started. So that initial seed, I guess, that I planted 4 years ago, maybe at that time wasn't right, but 4 years later, they're actually reaching out to me. So I'm going to move on from being a problem solver to using social media. So I want to say me and a lot of my team, even Tracy Dyer, ENVV Tracy Dyer, use social media, and it's probably like, I don't know, responsible for about like 90% of our business. I'm not joking. It's not the only way, but we use it in so many ways. And so when you have your Instagram or your Facebook accounts, you are posting on there, and you're posting, not every single thing has to be Arbonne. You're posting you. You want to be real. We are real people and we get real results. So we want to be authentic, but don't try to be something that you're not, just be you. But I'll say this. So like on my Facebook account, I post a variety of things. I'm usually gonna, these are probably the standard, I usually post about fitness because I'm passionate about fitness. So, you know, a hobby, something that you do, post about that. And then I post usually about my family, because my kids and my son-in-law and all that. I'm passionate about my family, so that's definitely me. Usually there's going to be some food in there because I like food. A lot of times it is healthy food. And if it's not, if it's like the day that, oh, we're going out for girls' night out and we're having wine, that's fine. But it's one of those like, oh, it's so great to celebrate this girls' night out, but then thank goodness, you know, tomorrow's Monday and I could get right back on the cleaning or something like that, because that's actually real life, right? If we are, you know, in our, if we're a health and wellness coach and we're not doing a clean eating challenge, then we're 80-20, right? 80 is how we mostly live, healthy living, and 20% is real life. I tell people it's smart and it's sustainable. That is Arbonne. Okay, so post about, you know, a little bit of real life in there, but not like, you're not going to be posting grilled cheeses and hamburgers and your margaritas like all the time. Okay, that's like your every once in a while, followed by a, oh, it's so great to enjoy this wonderful margarita on this warm day, but oh, and then, you know, but then, you know, in a week I'm going to be get back on, you know, cleaning or something like that. And it's truth. It's not like I'm not going to be. So, you know, you don't want to ever say something that isn't true. And then also, like if it's like, I might do a live here and there, because when you do a live on your page, it sends it, I don't know how the formula works, but a live will send you to the top. And so it could be something silly like, oh, I'm walking my dog today and, you know, look how he's chasing the squirrel. I don't know, whatever. But it doesn't have to necessarily be Arbonne. However, I am wearing my Arbonne hat or my tank top or something. So then it's a little bit more of a subtle thing rather than I am always throwing up Arbonne on you. But you're displaying your life, and that's really how it should be anyway, right? We're a product of the product. And so if I'm not necessarily drinking an Arbonne shake, then maybe I'm active, running outside, you know, because we're active, some of us, but most of us people, and it doesn't have to be like you're in the gym all the time, but, you know, outside enjoying the day. And that's how we live out our business as well. Because even though people don't comment on your post, and if you're like me, like, you know, I'll post a picture of my dog and I get like 50 likes, but then I post about Arbonne and I get like 5 likes, and it's like my Arbonne sideline sisters or my downline. But they're watching. They're watching. And to make sure they're watching, go on Facebook. And I mean, if you're like me, a lot of my posts on my wall are Arbonne sideline sisters, right? And because we love each other's posts and we want to be supportive. However, you need to be purposeful in looking for people that are not in Arbonne and comment on their post. Like, and make it be truthful too. Like, if you really think their dog is cute, then say, oh, your dog is so cute, right? You're not going to be like, oh, cute dog, and you're like not even a dog person. So be truthful, be real, okay? They want to deal with people. They don't want to deal with like commercial or something, you know, they just want you. And someone will do something more because of you, even more because then like how great a product is, believe it or not. So be real, use social media, and then even sometimes interactive, like maybe asking questions on Facebook, like, hey, how many of you have seen the new Star Wars movie or something? I don't know, whatever, like something so that they could actually respond rather than just, you know, the quick scroll. Okay, so social media is huge. The other thing I do is when I'm out and about for my day, if I go to, I don't know, the market and whoever is helping me, now I'll use the mall because that one's a little better. You have a little bit more time. So let's say I go into a store and someone's helping me and they're just really nice, or they have a great smile. There's just something about them that is attractive to me, whether it's their personal service or just how they, whatever they did. I will find something to genuinely compliment them on because there's something that I like them, like, hey, you know, you gave great service. Thank you so much for doing that. And then I say, you know what, I own my own health and wellness business. Or Ashley Strong says, I am the CEO of my own health and wellness business, and I think you'd be absolutely wonderful doing what I do. You could say that. I just say I own my own health and wellness business. And then I say, I'd love to send you some information. And if you think if it's a great fit, we could talk about it. If I added, or if I sent you a, email or a link, whatever, would you watch it? So the whole, if I would you. And they usually say yes. I haven't had anybody that has said no to me when I've asked them that. And I'll be, great. Are you on Facebook or Instagram? Because they usually are on one or the other. And then whatever it is, and I'll say, here, and I'll hand them my phone if it's Instagram or Facebook. Let me add you as a friend. And so they put their name in case I get the spelling wrong, whatever. I'm like, great. And then I add them. And I'll send you a little link. And if it's something you're interested in, then I'd love to talk to you about it. All day long, I could do that. In fact, I'll say, okay, I'm going out to the market. I'm going to add 3 people today. And that could mean nothing, but guess what? You're going to build up your Facebook friends, or if not, Instagram friends, or if not, you could just message them. So those people are then also watching you, and they want to see a real person. That's why what you post on social media is so important, and be consistent. Wear that Arbonne brand, but even subtly and just throughout your day, because that's what we do anyway. So then you have those people added on, and then like when you have a day you're like, I need to reach 10 people today, guess what? You could go through those newly people that you added to your Facebook or Instagram account, and you're reaching out. So we're always reaching out. I have people on my team sometimes, they're like, yeah, I reached out to this one person and they responded, and now I've messaged them 3 times and they haven't messaged me back. Do I keep going? Do I keep, And I don't really have a timeline for yes, you do, no, you don't. And this is why, because you are reaching out to so many people that I kind of forget, is this the second, third, fourth time that I reached out to you? Now, I'm not saying to use that method, because maybe you might think like I'm not very organized, and that's okay. Everyone has their different levels of organization. But because literally I am reaching out to so many people that it's like, oh yeah, I can't remember if, it's been 2 weeks since I last messaged that person or something. If it's something that I said like, oh, I'm going to reach out after a week, I will schedule them into my calendar. But if it's kind of just like I've messaged them and I had gotten 1 response but none after that, I don't necessarily always keep track of it that much, because I am just always looking for new people. Okay, so social media, Instagram, Facebook, so important. If you do Twitter as well, I think I have Twitter, but I don't even check it. But I think most of my Instagram goes on Twitter, something like that. Another thing that really helped me is just being uncomfortable. Being comfortable with being uncomfortable, right? So doing lives really aren't comfortable for me, but I am doing them because I want to get better. And so how do you get better at things? I teach fitness, right? And so I'll say to people, okay, we're going to hold a 30-second plank, and then we're going to start doing push-ups. And then of course, they get down on their knees, which is fine to do a push-up. But I'll say, hey, how do you get better at doing push-ups? You got to keep doing more, right? So how do I get better at doing Facebook Lives? I guess I just have to do more. How do I get better at sharing my why? I just have to do it more. And it's uncomfortable at first. It really is. The first time I had to do a one-on-one through Zoom, I was horrible and I was sweaty. My pits are sweaty right now. Thankfully, you can't see that. Comfortable, but I want to get better, so I'm going to keep doing it. And I would have someone cancel on me. Like, have you ever gotten canceled on? Like, I don't think I could count how many times I've been canceled on. So I got canceled on. It was a one-on-one Zoom. So you know what? I turned on and I did it anyway because I need to get better. I sat there and I read, hi, my name is Diane Nicely. Thanks for being on the call. Thank you for sharing your time with me. And, because I had to look at myself and I was like, oh, but I just did it anyways, because that's what leaders do. And that's what, as Jerry Rosenthal will say, that's what winners do. You do it anyway. Okay, I had already blocked out that time for that Zoom anyway, so why not just go through my why and my, is Arbonne for you presentation, however you do your one-on-ones. Okay, so get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Another thing really quickly I would do too is because I'd go to the gym, and you could do this even at work or ever. So I'd bring a shake, right? I would bring a second shake. not knowing who it's for, but I would bring a second shake because I was going to give it to someone. I just didn't know who it was going to be. And at the gym, actually, I would bring some little Dixie cups because, you know, after class, I'd be like, okay, you guys come on over and have a little after workout drink. I might do that with a fizz. Fizzes are easy to do that with. But if you don't have little Dixie cups, just bring an extra, like if you bring a fizz drink and maybe like just like a water bottle and just have it ready, you know, maybe have it chilled and you get to wherever you are and be like, hey, you know what? I want you to try this here, and you just give it to them. So then you are doing, you're not only going about your day, but now you're like, yes, I'm setting my sight on making sure I at least share this with 1, 2, 3, whatever people. So make good use of your time. And it's uncomfortable at first, but I have not had anyone that has said no, unless they were like allergic to chocolate and I had a chocolate shake. That's probably the only time. Um, so be prepared when you go out because you never know who you're going to meet. Um, and then the other thing, there is something that I do that really helps me, especially going from the area to the RVP stretch. I wanted to make sure I was intentional with my day, and so I had to make sure I was doing my to-dos. This is something that I got from a Linda Parker training, but everyone besides Linda Parker probably does this. So before I'd go to bed, I would write, she says 3 things, but I do 6 things. 3 things would probably be income producing activities, and then 3 that are not necessarily income producing. Going on Facebook is not income producing. Okay, just to let you know. Like, but it could be helpful, but it's generally not. Income producing is actually calling, messaging, setting appointments, talking to someone, like those types of things. So I would do that before I go to bed. And then during the day, I would not get to go to bed until I completed those. And so that made sure, as Linda Parker would say, that you would win the day. And if that sounds like a lot, start with 3 things. 3 things that you write down. And if you do those 3 things, then you could even celebrate, I won the day today. Because if you do that for 7 days, or maybe say like your work week is 5 days, however you want to do it, you've won the week. And then think what that's like when you do that for a month. You've won the month. And even if you may not see immediate results from it that day, that week, that month, because you know how our business works in cycles, 30, 60, 90, like this is 90, right, 90 day, you will see your business results change because of what you've done today. But you have to do it. So Linda Parker always says, win the day. So I think that, and if I don't complete, I'm like, oh, I have to carry that one over to the next day. So start with 3. Maybe that is more manageable for you. And don't go to bed until you complete that 3. Okay, so then the last thing I was going to share is there's a book. It's called Go for the No. Is that the real? Yeah, go. The book
Go
for
for
No. Have you read that, Wendy? I'm not sure. Have you heard of it?
It was our last book club
Oh,
book.
funny.
So not, I know, and it's amazing.
Yes, I love it. Okay, so it's actually been a while that I've read it, but I don't know about you, when you go out and you're like, I'm going to find 10 no's today, it's so different than like, I need 1 business builder today, right? Because I love it. If someone says no, I'm like, okay, thanks. I got to go. Like, I got to go talk to someone else because I just need to find 9 more no's and then I'll feel like I've won the day. So that just goes back to your mindset. And it really is, I think, something that could either take you to the top or really just like take you out your mindset. And so what do? We want to fill our mind with the right things so that we can be the best, not only for our team and our clients, not but our family, for everyone, right? So I do audibles. I do a daily reading, sound clouds. You could do these things at your fingertips, and I love that we can as you're driving to work, or you know, if you're someone that does carpool, and your kids will probably complain like, oh, do I have to listen to that again? My kids used to, but I'm like, yes, and you're going to listen too. But have it on. Just use that time. You know, when I'm making dinner, when I'm folding laundry, I just have something on. Because if I don't, then I'm probably just going to go and sit and, I don't know, Netflix binge. I don't know, right? And that's not going to help my business. I'm not saying don't go out and enjoy a movie with your family. Yes, go do that. But do I really need to watch some series right now if I'm building a multi-million-dollar business? I don't. it's enjoyable, but I know leaders have said to me before, give up some of those things now for huge results later. And it is going to be so worth it. When I started this business as a consultant and even like as a district manager, sometimes I was like, I don't know if it's really worth it. Here I am, working 10 hours a week, and I've only sold one RE9 and one detox kit, and man, that seems kind of like a lot of work, and this is my paycheck, so it doesn't really seem worth it. Well, I know my sponsor Tracy, has said, listen, at first it didn't seem worth it, but now she'll, well, before we used to open our paychecks, now you just look on your Arbonne IC Pay or whatever, and you're like, man, I am not worth this. And so, I mean, it's just unbelievable. I never ever thought I'd be doing a business like this. I never knew what the possibilities were, but I just had to jump in and I had to believe. I believed in the company. Well, first the products, then the company. I really struggled with belief in myself, but because we have a wealth of knowledge around us, our upline, our sideline decisions, our trainings that we get. Look at this. Your leader is providing this training for you, pouring into us, pouring into you. So it is right there in our fingertips. And what's the difference between a consultant and an MVP? An MVP is a consultant that never gave up. All right. And if you could get to district manager, you could get to MVP. Wendy and I are going to be MVPs. Wendy and I are going to walk the stage as MVPs. We are not stopping until we get there. And even when we get there, we're going to take as many people as we can with us, because we have big dreams, not just for ourselves, but we have it for our team. Even just getting to this level of management, I guess, which is funny because we're not really managers, even though they call it. Even though we get to this level, all it is just a milestone. It's just something to remind us of not only how far we have come, but how much further we get to go. And then, of course, many lives that we've touched along the way. So like I said, I don't know if that's much. People have just poured into me like crazy, and it's like, how can I, Wendy, you're so sweet, asking me to do this call, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to share? I don't even know. But I just kind of share from my heart, and that's why I kind of get weepy here and there, because I'm a crier. But if I can encourage you, like I said, if a crier, ordinary gal like me could do this business and get to at least where I've gotten, you certainly can, and you could go so much further. So thank you so much, you guys, for just allowing me to be on this call. I'm encouraged just because your leader has set aside this time for you. She's pouring into you by providing this training. She loves you. She wants nothing more to see you succeed. And that's where we're liked, I think, because as much as we have fun with our business, as much as we've received as even RVPs with this business, I think we're even more excited to see our team and those around us succeed. That will probably make me cry even more. Okay.
Absolutely. Diane, I can't tell you how many times I got goosebumps this evening listening to you. I'm just mesmerized by you. And I have 4 pages of notes of stuff that we've heard, we haven't heard, just hearing. Not only did you pour into us, but you gave us your heart tonight, and you shared with us who you really are. And we are just so blessed to have you here, to have you willing to take your time away from your family, your team, and you don't benefit from us and we don't benefit from you, but we certainly do benefit from you tonight. And thank you for everything. You are so loved. And I can't wait to see you and give you a hug of thanks. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Wendy, and a pleasure. And I'm so thankful to know you and get to know you even more, because we are walking that stage, girl, with our fellow teammates as MVPs, right?
Absolutely. And we will be cheering the loudest for you. And when we go MVP, it just means that our leaders have stepped into their greatness and are chasing us to the top.
Yes, yes.
So thanks, Dawn.
You're so welcome.
Have a great night, everybody. Love you.
Good night.